Okay, so in this video, I'm going to start talking about electrical circuits, and we're going to start off with just talking about the circuit symbols, what they are, how to assemble them together and to make circuits. So circuit symbols are always drawn with straight lines. So I'll start off with the basic things. So the first symbol we have here is like that, and that is for a cell. Okay, now the cell provides the energy for the circuit. Okay, if we don't have a cell, then we don't have any energy and it won't work. I've drawn the cell with two sides. There's a long side, which is the positive side, and then there's a shorter side, which is the negative side. So the long side is always positive, and the short side is a negative side. So the negative side is a store of electrons. And the electrons flow from the minus to the plus. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is just like that. That is a piece of wire. Okay, you can draw wire always with straight lines, and then with lines like that. That would also be a piece of wire. So wire is assumed to just allow the electrons to flow as much as they want without any resistance, and you have to have a complete circuit of wires connecting the cell to the other components. So wires join the components together. Okay, next I'm going to have a lamp. So a lamp is drawn like that. That's a lamp, and what that does is it lights up when there's electricity passing through it. Okay, and at this time I'm going to do two more things. So we have something like that. That is called a switch. And a switch can turn the circuit on or off, or connects or disconnects the circuit, let's say that. Okay, so the switch is considered to be in two positions. It can either be open or it can be closed. So open is like that, and then closed is like that, effectively a piece of wire. Okay, so this is open, this is closed. I'm just kind of drawing it together. So that's basically a piece of wire. And then if it's open, that means that it's basically a gap in the circuit. Now, switch is always drawn with the gap, like it's open like this. But that means that the switch is there and it can be closed or it can be open. It's always just represented by drawing the gap there. So just because it's drawn with a gap doesn't mean the circuit isn't complete. It's just showing that that's a switch, and you can press it to make it close or open it to leave it open. So it's basically just showing that that is a point where the switch can control the circuit. And I want to do one more thing, which is that, and that is a resistor. Okay, a resistor makes it more difficult for the current to flow, or makes it more difficult for the electrons to pass. Okay, so that's the basics of my circuit symbols there. So I've got a cell, I've got a wire, I've got a lamp, I've got a switch, and I've got a resistor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some of those together and show how we can make a circuit. So first of all, just going to make a very simple circuit like that. Okay, so this is a simple circuit. Now, in order to be a circuit, it has to be a complete loop. Okay, electrons will only flow if it's possible for them to leave the negative side of the cell and get back to the positive side somehow. So this is a switch, like I said. So you always draw it with a gap, but you can assume that it joins together like a piece of wire. So that is a complete circuit there, like that, around there. So electrons will be able to leave this side and they will be able to get to the other side. So that would make a complete circuit. If I was to press this switch closed, then the lamp would come on, it would light up. If I was to open the switch, then there would be a gap and the light would not come up. So the switch would control the lamp. Like that. Okay. I can draw another circuit like that. So sometimes you can draw two cells together like that. That's called a battery. Okay, so in this circuit, I've got two cells, and then I've got two lamps, and again, I've got one switch. Now again, I've got one complete circuit here. So it's possible for the electrons to leave here, go around here, go through the two lamps, and join back again. If I press the switch closed, there'd be a complete circuit. If I open the switch, then there wouldn't. So again, I've got one switch, but the one switch would control both the lamps. So that circuit is basically quite similar to the first one, just it's got two lamps in it instead of one. But apart from that, it's the same. Now, I can draw another circuit. Like so. Now, this circuit is a little bit different. So this circuit here, there's a way for the current to go around here. So there's one loop there. Now, if that switch was closed, I would make a loop there that went through this lamp. If I was to close this circuit, I would make a loop that would go through this lamp, like that. So this circuit is slightly different. In this one, there was only one way for the electricity to go, for the electrons to get from here round to here. In this case, there's two routes. They could go this way if the switch was closed, or they could go that way if the bottom switch was closed. So here I've got two switches, and either switch will control its own lamp. So if that switch is closed, electrons would be able to go around this way, and this lamp would come on. Whereas if this switch was closed, the electrons would be able to come around this way, and this lamp would come on. If both the switches happen to be closed, the electrons could go either that way or they could go that way, and so both the lamps would come on. So here I've got two switches, each controlling their own lamp. Okay, now just going to flag up here that this circuit, both of these circuits here are called series circuits. Whereas this one is called a parallel circuit. So anywhere where there's a junction, here is a parallel circuit. In the series circuit, there's no junction. There's no junction in the wire. There's nowhere where there's a choice which way the electrons can go. So if it's just one complete loop, it's a series circuit. One complete loop, it's a series circuit. Where there's a junction here, and there's a possibility the electrons could go this way or this way, then there's a parallel circuit. So series circuits are a single loop. Parallel circuits are where there's a junction. Now, so I've given you a basic overview there of the different parts of the circuit, the different symbols, and how you make a circuit. So in the next video, I shall start talking about electrical current and voltage.